All right, everybody, we are back. Second guest of the show. We are here with Mr. 0 and 48, Baron Black. I mean, amazing wrestler.
That was such a disrespectful
Horrible
intro.
losing streak, but it's all right. It's all right. It's cool. We support you anyway. We love what the matchup coming up in Terminus. We're gonna talk about that in a second. We love everybody on AEW, the roster, the diversity, and everything. Man, you can't pick up a win. It's tough. It's tough out here in these streets.
Well, I'm gonna put it to you like this, man. You introduced me the wrong way. It's Mr. Emperor of AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation. That's what I need to be called.
That's fair. It's as soon as you get that first
Record
win.
goes-
As soon as you get that first win, I'll change it up. I promise you.
No. Nobody has put in more work than me on those two shows. Nobody has had more competitive matches than me on those two shows. Nobody has had any. You know what? I think it's for a fact. Nobody has had more matches than me on those two particular shows. So I am correct when I say I am the Emperor of AEW Dark. Period.
See, that's fair. But
Record be damned.
let's talk about, before we talk about Terminus and your match coming up with Jay Lethal and your record itself, but this is a very broad question that I want you to zone in on. Given everything that's happened in pro wrestling, right, over the past couple of years, we talk about diversity, we talk about everything else, your career as well, where you stand at in AEW, what does it mean to be a black professional wrestler in 2022, in your opinion?
Oh man, it means if I could sum it up in one word, it means representation. I think being a African American wrestler in 2022 means that word representation, because I see how seeing successful black athletes outside of two, most popular routes that you see black athletes take, which is NBA and NFL. I see the effect that it has on the youth, and I see the effect that it has on young kids. And I'm just speaking from my experience. So if I have people that come to me and they get excited when they see me wrestle, being the young kids, or I have, cats around my age or a little bit younger, and, they're getting reinvigorated into wrestling because they see someone like me on TV or out on an independent scene actually wrestling and doing our thing and being pretty successful doing it. So I think it sums up to one word: representation, and it really does matter, and it really does make a difference, definitely in our community.
Let me follow it up with this, because there have been white wrestlers who've had these records of 0 and a billion or whatever the hell it is, and it doesn't seem like there's any pressure on them to win. But when I say, before we started recording, I said people are rooting for you. It's different. They see your record and they go, why is Baron Black on 48? They're doing them dirty. This, that, and the third. Is there a different element of pressure being a black professional wrestler to represent for the community? Because what you're doing isn't necessarily under your control per se, but you see the banter on social media. How does that make you feel when you see all that banter coming at you? Because it's a complicated answer. This isn't easy, but I need to hear it from your perspective.
How do I react when I see all the banter and crazy comments? And I feel more energized when I see that, because it lets me know that people are actually supporting me and actually paying attention to what I am doing. And they actually see me as that representation figure, like I was saying previously. So it gives me more energy to continue to grind hard, work hard, and to see it through to, the ultimate goal that I want to have. And it is a little bit of pressure because, like I said, it's not that many African American pro wrestlers out there. So when there are some that you see consistently on major platforms like AEW. Like I said, some people, people in our community, they rally around those guys. They want to see those guys succeed. They want to see those guys win. They want to see those guys become successful and achieve great things. So they can, live vicariously through us and, see somebody that looks like them actually achieve something great. So it makes me work harder. You know what I mean? I like it, even though sometimes it can get a little bit out of control, to put it lightly. But it makes me feel really good that I'm actually somebody they look up to as a representation.
One last question before we start talking about everything else. Everything I just said, when you get that first win, because now the level of significance of you getting that first win is almost bigger than winning the world title in a lot of people's eyes. Is there an anticipation of release that like, wow, I finally got the monkey off my back? Or is you kind of like enjoying this because the more that you post, the more people start going, we need Baron Black to win. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube once you get that W. So do you want this thing to end sooner or later? And what do you expect to happen when you finally get that dub?
I'm putting it like this. I definitely want the dub more than any damn thing. but like some great people have said in the past, it's not all about the destination. It's about the journey. So the journey to becoming, to gaining this first win, it can be enjoyable. It's whatever you make of it. But I'll be damned if I ain't trying to win every time I step in that ring. So I don't want y'all to get that twisted. I'll enjoy the journey until I finally get over the hump. I will definitely say that.
I mean, listen, a lot of your work right now is being done on AEW Dark. You mentioned the Emperor of AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. It's refreshing to see that you have this mindset towards it because talking about banter and online and how people respond to things, they take it as a slight that so many minorities, so many black professional wrestlers are relegated to AEW Dark and to Elevation. But you're embracing that. What is it like in your perspective to have 48 matches on this platform where other people are kind of like complaining and clamoring like, why aren't they on Rampage? Why aren't they on, Wednesdays? But you're embracing your position there.
It it's kind of two aspects to it. The first aspect is, I got taught at a very early age, whatever card you get dealt, you know what I mean? And I grew up in a house with a bunch of spade players. Whatever hand you get dealt, make that shit work. Whatever hand you get dealt, make that shit work. We better make board or we better make our books. You better make the shit work. So I got handed, I got dealt a hand that some people think is not, as pleasing to them, but I'm going to play this hand. I'm gonna make this shit work. It's just that simple. And also on the second respect of it, the second aspect of it, I don't really view AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation as an lower tier or lower quality product than Dynamite or Rampage. We have seen storylines be told from Dynamite to Rampage, AEW Dark, so on and so forth. I mean, we've seen stuff like that play out on Dark before, especially when you got people, the legendary Tony Schiavone, Paul White, Mark Henry, Excalibur, Taz, as your commentators for those shows. So I really don't see that as like a downfall. I mean, or downgrade, because those are legendary figures in pro wrestling that are commentating my matches. Something I would have never ever thought would be possible when I first started training to become a pro wrestler. So I don't really see it as as the downgrade as the majority on social media see it as. Especially when, if you actually watch AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation, there are some banging matches that people are missing out because some people do not watch. most notably the match is Baron Black.
All right. So let's pivot because Terminus is coming up this weekend. And, the first show gained a ton of traction. Like, as soon as it was announced, people were like, this is different. This is unique. And now we're heading into the second Terminus, and now it feels like you guys have built a base. Can you talk about your role in Terminus and how this all came together with you being a part of this this promotion, this indie promotion, and what it means, heading into a second show to see so many people have jumped on board this quick. We see other indie promotions that don't get this much traction in this amount of time, but you guys have done something different. I think he froze.
He might be frozen.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you're good.
He blinked.
Oh, I'm here. It just paused for a second. I don't know what happened.
Oh, you're good. Keep going.
No, I didn't hear the question. It paused.
My bad.
Okay. This is the magic of editing.
Yeah.
So, Terminus is coming up this weekend. First show got a ton of traction. People were excited for it. And it leads into the second show, which people seem to even be more excited. I want to talk about your role in Terminus because many people don't know. And how does it feel being part of something that in 2 shows has gained more traction than a lot of these independent promotions that try to pop up and get, the attention of so many? But you guys have great talent, and that first show had great reviews. How does it feel to be a part of something that has moved this quickly?
It's kind of mind-boggling to be honest with you. When me and my best friend John Gresham put together, finally decided to do it because it's been a plan of ours for years. A lot of people don't know me and John Gresham grew up. We came up together training at a facility in Atlanta, Georgia. So we was always close friends and became really close friends through our journey of training and being on the road together early in our careers. Obviously, our career paths took 2 different routes, but obviously we remain friends. We're both here from Atlanta. We wanted to see wrestling thrive again in Atlanta, Georgia, and we had this idea of Terminus. Like when I said Terminus was years in the making, you probably heard that soundbite before. It was literal. Like for over the past 10 years, we have been talking about one day we're going to run a show. One day we're going to make the show big, and it's going to be amazing. And everything fell together for us to run Terminus 1, and the reception was, I was taken back for the reception. It really shows how much attention and respect myself and John Gresham has when it comes to pro wrestling and the industry as a whole. And the success of the first show was just, I was just blown away by it. And I really don't know. I really don't know what really transpired for it to become that big so quickly, except that, people know our names, and people know we have a good reputation. So they put, their faith and our trust in us that we deliver a great product for them. So that's the only thing I could think of why it came out so, got so much buzz and so much attention just with the first 2 shows.
With that being said, first.
What was the second part?
Oh no, you're good. The first show was such a success, right? We're talking about that, got everyone clamoring. How hard is it to put together a second show then? Because now you have a wave of people who want to be a part of it. Now this person wants a match. This person wants to wrestle this person. People think this is a dream match. You're going against Jay Lethal. There's different things, and it's kind of like now you have all of these options. The first one, we've had a couple live shows, and it's not even on your level. But the first one's always like, man, we hope we can pull this off. We're trying to pull people in oh man, we just want to pull it off. And then it becomes a success, and now everyone wants to be a part of it. How hard is it being on that end of things now when you're like, man, we got to put together all of these matches, and sometimes some people can't even fit into this?
Well, that's something that we knew would be a part of it, because that's just part of becoming a promoter and running a promotion. Like, you can't literally put everybody on every show can't have a 35 match card. You know what I'm saying? So it's just not something you can do. So the only thing you really do is try to tell engaging stories, you know, over a period of time with, you know, whichever talent you want to use to tell those stories. And then develop new stories as the old stories comes to a close. So it's been a little bit difficult. We had, you have people that obviously inquire about working for Terminus and stuff, and then gotta let them know, like, hey, um, you know, coming up maybe so, but right now we have working on these stories right here. So it's like it's a learning curve to adjust to, from going from wrestler mode to promoter mode. So it's I see what promoters go. That's what it's like.
Couple more for you. And one, I think when we first saw the Terminus announcement and that you and Gresham were behind it, there were some people that thought, oh, this is going to be a new black wrestling promotion. But I think more importantly is that a pro wrestling promotion that's ran by two African Americans, which bears a whole different level of significance. Can you explain that? Because it seems like that's the direction that you guys wanted to go in. Because some people immediately thought, oh, this is a promotion just for black pro wrestlers. But it's just a pro wrestling promotion with two black guys sitting on top of it.
Yeah, like it was kind of odd that people just went straight to that, and I think that had to really do with what was happening in wrestling and the current events at the point in time when Terminus was announced. You know what I mean? Everybody had, their say about what was happening in pro wrestling. So once we announced that, they just automatically assume it's just a black promotion only for black wrestlers. But that was never the idea of Terminus. The idea of Terminus was always about great pro wrestlers and putting on great pro wrestling shows, period. You know what I mean? But we also had an extra emphasis that we will showcase African American talent that need to be showcased on that level of a platform. So diversity was going to be something that was just going to be an automatic thing with Terminus itself. So as you can see, as the first two cards, as you see, it's very diverse. And it does showcase a lot of African American talent that need to be showcased at that level of platform.
So talk about that. How does this then impact, if you can project forward, how does this impact the industry? Because we talk so much about you need different minority voices, you need different just voices in general, male, women, whatever it may be, in these higher up spaces, in terms of promoters, in terms of people booking the matches, agents, and all of these things. How do you foresee this impacting the industry long term? Because what you guys are doing in a vacuum right now has major impact. Do you feel like this and is part of you and Gresham's plan long term to say, you know what, we're going to change the culture of pro wrestling on all levels?
I actually thought about that recently. I think it is going to have an impact. It might have a trickle down effect, but like I was saying, one of the main objectives was, to have great pro wrestlers and great pro wrestling, no matter the ethnic background or race. That's the number one priority. But then, as the next layer, which African American wrestlers need to be showcased on a platform like that, and also bringing to light other styles of African American pro wrestlers that we normally don't see. Usually see the high flyers or you see the powerhouse. You know what I mean? So we try to show that, hey, there's more to us than being the powerhouse, swole guy or the flippy guy that flies around. And I think I'm an example of that. I think Jonathan Gresham is a tremendous example of that. And also, you'll see other talents that are on Terminus that also represent that as well. Like we have African American wrestlers that wrestle many styles. It's not just those two styles that you predominantly only see in wrestling. That's been like that for so long.
All right, so we're gonna get ready to take this home. I mean, obviously, your match with Jay Lethal is one that everybody's looking forward to. But putting together this card, what is the match outside of yours that you're most interested in and looking forward to?
Oh, it's definitely it's all of them really.
Ah, man, that's such a cop
It's
out.
all
Come on, man. I know
yeah.
it's I get it. It's disrespectful to just pick one. But can you give me one that you looked at and was like, yo, I never thought about this match, and because I don't want you to highlight it. I get it. But is there one match that you say, you know what, I didn't think this match could ever happen, but now it's happening because we put it together?
Well, that's the thing. That's one of our processes that we come in mind when we get together and try to put the show. You know, we want to put something on that's going to be great, but we also think about, hey, has this actually been done? You know what I'm saying? So that's always an aspect to it as well. So trust me, it is a very um, vigorous process of how we finally get down to the 8 matches. It's not like, hey, this guy's available. Hey, this guy's available. Let's just throw them together. It's like we actually really sit down and we think about each and every match. So that's why I gave you the answer, like all of them, because all the matches have been been put into them to make it onto the card. But if you're going to make me choose a damn match, because that's what you're trying to make me do,
Mm-hmm.
it probably is going to have to be. It's going to have to be Gresham versus Santana for the ROH original world title. Simply because Santana has been a tag team wrestler for so long, and now he's trying to venture out as a singles wrestler. I think we're going to see a different Santana. I think we're going to see a different level of Santana, and I'm really anxious to see what he brings to Jonathan Gresham.
Okay.
I really am.
Good one. All right. February 24th, Atlanta, Georgia, 8 p.m. Eastern, which is 5 p.m. Pacific, Fight TV. Can't wait for Terminus to happen. But this is a question I got to put you on the spot about. Whose idea was to do this goddamn Black Panther promo poster that's incredible? Whose idea was this?
Well, obviously we know what February is. So, and this is for, I guess I'll go ahead and just spill the beans. As far as the artwork and advertising, that's really all me. It's solely me. I come up with the idea, I come up with the concept, and we have great graphical designers that basically take what I have in my brain and bring it to life on paper. So I got to give them props for that, because whenever I come up with an idea, they're able to completely do it exactly how I envisioned. So yeah, I came up with the idea. I wanted to pay homage to obviously Chadwick, who is no longer with us, and I also wanted to have some type of imagery that represent something that also celebrated Black History Month. And I was like, oh, this is perfect combination here. Let's do this type of style, and people will get it instantly, and it will actually look pretty dope. So, yeah,
No,
I'm
it looks
very
incredible.
happy with it.
Looks incredible. So, no, man, we appreciate you joining us during this week. We root for you to break that streak. We know it's on the horizon, but in the meantime, we root for you to win this weekend. We appreciate. We'll be watching. I'm sure everyone else will be watching as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
No problem, man.
The Emperor, everybody. Baron Black. See, look, I changed my tune already.
Had to.
The Emperor of AEW Dark, Baron Black. We appreciate
That's
you,
right.
man. Thanks so much.
See, you gotta say it like that. You gotta say it like that. It comes true.